basically, I got creamed up by my girlfriend. I raw dogged some asparagus. My name is Joe, and over the weekend I competed in my first ever bodybuilding competition. I ate pretty good during prep, minus a caniac combo or two, and maybe a trip to Texas Roadhouse. It's safe to say I think this was the best day of my life. I learned so many great things. I competed against great people. The competition was just overall nice in general. It was super cool. I'll show y'all what I got, all the goodies I got by the end, and yeah, the final judging was insanely close. But first, to really get the full experience of what this show is like, I'm gonna give you the full context. The show was on a Saturday, but the entire process started on a Thursday. Since I was competing in a fully natural competition, I had to take a polygraph test, and for those that don't know, polygraph test is just a lie detector test. And obviously the reason they do this lie detector test is to make sure I'm not taking any banned substances. So unfortunately, I couldn't stay on my trend cycle. That's a joke, guys. This polygraph test was in a hotel sponsored by the competition. It was given by an ex-cop of 20 years. He was super cool, and you kind of know he's cool when you walk in and he greets you and he's wearing Jesus sandals, so you know you're in for a good time. I got to the hotel room and the entire setup was super interesting, just because they had a bunch of nodes for your fingers, bands around your waist, you know, to really just see what changes are happening to your body, if you're like sweating a little bit in your hands, if there's sudden any movements. I wasn't very familiar beforehand of what a lie detector test looked like, so this was all very new to me. And this was obviously very new to me because this was my first ever competition. I was a little scared that my anxiety about it being my first polygraph ever would interfere with like how they would interpret my answers and if it would be a lie or not. But they knew to account for all that, and I was good and said bye to the dude and went on my way. So Thursday was my very last workout before the show, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a very unique workout. I was told to hit 2 sets of every single muscle. Every single muscle. So like 2 sets for side delts, 2 sets for rear delts, 2 sets for lats, 2 sets for abs, 2 sets for quads. You get the idea. At the same time, I'm doing all this with a much lighter weight so I can get like 20 to 25 reps. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like one of those mythical people you see in a Planet Fitness gym, where like I just didn't feel like I was lifting correctly, and I just kind of felt like I was performing the goofiest workout of all time. But you would think it would take a while considering I'm hitting 2 sets of every single muscle, but I was actually out of there pretty quickly. Thursday night I had to do a full body shave because my spray tan was Friday. My first coat was Friday, but it wasn't necessarily a normal shave. The last couple times that I had shaved had been a pain in the ass, so I decided to nair my entire body. And not only did I nair my entire body, I had my girlfriend nair me. So basically, I got creamed up by my girlfriend. For those of you who don't know, Nair is basically, if you haven't been taking in the context clues, a hair removal product. You lather it on your body, and after leaving it for like 5 to 10 minutes, it will basically, if you were to take a rag and just, it would come off so easily, it's crazy. To be honest, since I had shaved a couple times prior, the only parts of my body that had like excessive hair were my armpits. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. I got double carbs for that night, as I was told by my coach. My coach, his name is Van. He is a former bodybuilder who won Mr. Arkansas 5 times over. And he's a super cool dude. So he was just telling me what to eat these days leading up, like especially telling me what to eat. Obviously I've been following a meal plan for the past 16 weeks, but when it gets down to these last couple days, you're making a lot of like little changes just to make sure you're getting it right. I just want to point out, if you've watched this far, I would really appreciate any form of support. A like, comment, or you subscribing really does mean a lot. So I thank you for that, and let's get back to the video. So Friday, I woke up and I got to eat a little bit extra in terms of carbs, just like the night beforehand. Although my water intake was limited to 3/4 of a gallon. If you haven't seen my last video, basically starting from a week out, I have to drink 3 gallons, and that basically gets cut by about half a gallon each day. So I drank 3 gallons Saturday, 2.5 Sunday, 2 Monday, 1.5 Tuesday, 1.5 again Wednesday, and then 1 Thursday, 3/4 Friday. And then Saturday for the show would be like tiny sips of water with what I was eating. Throughout the day, I got double sweet potatoes. I got asparagus for the first time in my entire prep, so that was interesting. I also had to have some extra cream of rice. I got extra salt. I'm not a fat fuck, guys. Like I said, I was being told to do this, so don't worry. Later in the day, I had to check in to the competition, and I went to the gym that was sponsoring the show, and basically just went there and told him, hey, like, I'm still good to do all these things. And he was like, cool, gave me a shirt, gave me a goodie bag, and then I raced off to the same hotel I got my polygraph at, and I went to get my first coat of tan. So for the first coat of tan, sat in the lobby for a little bit waiting, and I'm not gonna lie, this is where I really started to get excited. And I know it's like a little weird just because I was getting a spray tan and that's when I started to get excited, but like just everything was very new to me. And while we were waiting in the lobby, we being the competitors and my girlfriend, I just got to talk to all of them, got to talk to them about their experiences, and a lot of them were also novice bodybuilders, and it was just super cool to realize, oh my god, they've literally been through the same shit as I have. I don't know why I didn't like maybe think about that prior, but it was just still very relieving. It very much calmed my anxiety about the situation. So I got my first coat and I headed back home so I could go to bed early. And I raw dogged some asparagus because I'd never had it before and I didn't feel like cooking it, so you know I was eating that shit with nothing on it.
You need to leave!
And I tried to go to bed by about 10:15 because I had to wake up at 5:55 the next morning, but I did not go to bed for like another hour and a half because I was, one, worried about how my tan would look in the morning if I was gonna mess it up during the night, and two, I was just so fucking stoked to be competing in this because I'd been working for it for obviously longer than just 16 weeks. I had been working for it for the past year because last summer I wanted to do it, but I wasn't quite satisfied with how my physique looked and I wanted to add some extra aspects to it. So yeah, my sleep sucked that night. I woke up, had my first meal at 6 a.m., which was 45 grams cream of rice with a tablespoon of almond butter. I went to the same hotel to get my second coat of tan. This is when, again, I started getting excited again because I was super dark after that second coat. Got to talk with all the guys again. I got to talk to some of the female competitors. That was all very cool because I realized we all got very shitty sleep. Like no one could sleep. Everyone was just staying up all night thinking about it. It felt pretty good to know that everybody was going through the same kind of holy shit, like we're competing tomorrow. So that was pretty cool. After my spray tan, I went back home and I had literally the exact same meal, 45 grams cream of rice, 1 tablespoon almond butter. Then I went to the venue, basically was in the theater. I got to the theater about 8:30 and I was one of the first ones there. And waited for the competitor meeting at 9 to start. The guy who organized this whole competition just went through the rules, standard stuff that we'd already known, and obviously we wouldn't be there if we weren't drug tested. He told us that the first and second place for the open classes in men's physique, classic, and bodybuilding, if someone got first or second, they would have to get a urinalysis test, which is basically the second way to verify that you're drug free. So at about 10 o'clock, the competition started, and it was bikini, I believe. So I went to the basement to get in the right headspace. I was like shitting myself, but I was just so excited to show my friends and family what I've been working on for a long time. And obviously my girlfriend had been with her every step of the way, so she was just as hype as I was because she wanted me to get first just as much, if not more, than I did. And to have someone like that in the crowd, that's all I needed. All the motivation I needed to go out there and just be happy. But when I went out there and I saw like 20 of my friends and my parents, and when Leah, my girlfriend, when she started screaming, "Go 15!" I think that made everybody else realize that they could also start screaming. And so I was just beaming the whole time, the smile on my face. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Before I even got on stage, I had some rice cakes, peanut butter, all like a little bit of Gatorade. I dry scooped pre-workout for the first time. Like, I've never dry scooped pre-workout, and I just had a whole serving of it. Started getting pumped up, doing all the necessary stuff. It was all super, super awesome to really be getting in, like, you know, it's game day. It's game day. Start pumping up with the bands, and then walk upstairs and be right about to go on stage, and still pumping up and still trying to look amazing, or just look the best you can, better than the person next to you. But even then, all of us in the tunnel were nervous because we were all pretty much doing this for the first time. I went out there and I competed in 4 different divisions within classic physique. I competed in Mr. Arkansas, novice, collegiate, and the open category, which if I won the open category would qualify me for the IPE Pro card and a fat ass sword. The format for all of the divisions is basically the same. You have the competitors step out on stage, give a little pre-judging, then do a pose off, and they make their final decisions, and the placements are given. So for Mr. Arkansas, man, I was smiling so much. I really do feel like I was just in my element. I was just having too much fun. I was having way too much fun. I was like a little kid in a candy shop. I was just loving my posing, loving the situation I was in, and really, really enjoying that my friends and family are there to support me. It was crazy because I had been so nervous the entire time, and then when I got out on stage, I was just not nervous at all. It was super weird how that worked, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I would rather be very nervous beforehand and get out there and kill it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I killed that shit. Because for Mr. Arkansas, I got first place. I was super proud of that. I got a sick embroidered jacket, which I'm gonna rep that shit everywhere. Like, please be fucking for real. For the novice category, I also got first place. That was awesome. It, like, back to back, it's awesome. For collegiate, I also got first place, but I'm not gonna lie, I was the only one who signed up for collegiate, which is super surprising because I was living in I'm back home now, but when I was doing the show, I was living in my college town, and to be the only one who signed up for collegiate was kind of crazy. So I got a sick ass, oh, you're gonna love this shit. I got a sick ass samurai sword. This shit is so tough. I can't even lie. This shit is so tough. Like, I'm on my Demon Slayer shit. Look at this. Oh my god, it's so sick. Look at that. That's so sick. Ah! But yeah, getting the sword, I know there wasn't anybody else, but like, I'm very confident I would have done pretty well in collegiate. You know, another first place medal, super cool. Might as well add the cherry on top. But the hardest class for sure was the open class. For being honest, getting the pro card is the biggest thing here. I mean, another cool fucking sword. But anyways, in the open class, there was another competitor, and I'd been talking to him since Friday when we were getting our first coats of tan. I've just been talking to him a bunch of times since, when we were in the basement, when we were behind the stage, stuff like that. Super nice guy, by the way. His chest was just so, like, he had a very full chest, very nice round shoulders. I knew, like, to be honest, like, I'm saying I killed it. I'm saying I killed these divisions and stuff, but when I was backstage, all these guys looked amazing.
What do you mean by that?
And I really didn't think I was gonna win like I did. Like, it's very easy to say like, oh yeah, I did very well now, but when I was backstage, I genuinely didn't think I was gonna place that highly. These guys had all put in like very similar amounts of work as I did. That's another reason I was pretty nervous, because they all looked great. So yeah, for the open class, got to do our posing routines, which was a lot of fun. I'd been waiting a long time to do that. It was kind of unfortunate because I didn't realize they were going to format the posing routine the way they did, because they were telling a paragraph that we wrote prior to say like thank you and give context of how hard we worked. Basically, they were saying that paragraph while our posing routine was going on, so you could barely hear the music and it was kind of hard to get like hyped to it. But anyways, we did our posing routine, we did 3 poses in the center, and we did pre-judging and all that. So during the actual competition, I held center stage for the majority of it, and at the very end I got switched with the guy I was just talking about. It was very close, but I came second in the open. I'm really not too bummed out about it, because when I think about how I prepared for this show and I think about how much work I put in, to lose to a guy where it really just came down to size, like he told me he started cardio 3 weeks out. I really just lost on the size aspect, like the size aspect of my chest and my shoulders. People were telling me I was the most conditioned there, and that was super nice to hear. And when I looked at the stage shots, you can tell because I had striated hamstrings. I was wearing longer shorts than the rest of the competitors, so I couldn't tell if my glutes were striated, but I had striated hamstrings. I was super proud of that. Yeah, I had done as much work as I could. Although I ended with a second, there was one last award I got, and I got the Best Poser / Best Presentation Award. And I think that felt the best out of the day. Like, Mr. Arkansas was super cool. I was super proud of that. I got a very cool sword from the collegiate category. Winning novice was awesome. It means I can't compete in novice ever again, so that'll save me a little bit of money. But winning the Best Poser and Best Presenter award, they're the same award, it's not two separate. Winning that was awesome because I put in so much work with my girlfriend being my little judge. I would practice for like 20 to 30 minutes every single night. Even looking back, like I still need lots of work, but I put in so much. And just reflecting on the show, to know how much work I put into conditioning, to know how much work I put into posing, and to lose the open just because of size, I really have no regrets about it. I'm super proud, super gassed up about it. It was really like the coolest thing I've probably ever experienced in my life. But yeah, the competition was just amazing. It was the greatest first experience. To have so many people that supported me unconditionally, it was crazy. It was crazy. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm super blessed. I got a bunch of cool awards, got some medals back there, got a cool sword, and this is the plaque that I got for Best Poser. So that was super cool. But yeah, that's how my first experience went for my bodybuilding show. I hope you all enjoyed the little story. Hopefully I made you laugh here or there, once or twice at least. But yeah, it was awesome. If you've watched this far, I want to say thank you very much. Please hit like, comment, or subscribe. It would mean a lot. I hope you are having a good day, or you've had a great day whenever you're watching this. In the future, I'm going to be making more specific fitness videos that don't have to do with myself as much, but more so like how to train abs, what are good ways to lose weight healthily and keep all your muscle mass, what are good ways to gain weight healthily and put on more size. So things of that nature. If you have ideas for a video or something you'd like to see, please leave that in the comments. And yeah, I really appreciate you watching this far, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night. and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.